Good morning, good people, and welcome back to the channel. It is Clint Sharp from Sharp Solutions, carpet and upholstery cleaning, supply, install and repair. Right then guys, it's been a while. So I'm just zooming down there. We've got a burn, and also the stairs are not attached correctly. So these will be concrete stairs because this is an upstairs 2-bedroom flat. So these will be concrete stairs, and I can assure you I know what's happened here. It's not a quick fix, so the price would have to reflect the time. If there's anyone out there that does the same thing as me, you know, where we clean, we repair, we install. So I'd want to repair these stairs, but these are concrete stairs, so the gripper rods have either been glued or screwed and plugged. So I would glue, screw and plug normally so that the gripper rods stand the test of time and basically last forever. Make sure obviously you get the appropriate gap in between. That's not just going to take this carpet but future carpets, because obviously when you're drilling and plugging and gluing, things like that, it's got to last a while. These have probably been either stuck and the grippers have detached, or they've just gone underlay and then they've stuck the carpet to the underlay. I'd actually say that this carpet has been stuck to the underlay and the underlay to the treads, and that's why you've got this kind of thing here where it doesn't look like it's in between the tread and the riser correctly. You can see there's movement in the step there. So you know what this channel is about, guys. If it is the first time you're tuning in to watch it, it's not a tutorial channel, but I do like to obviously state the obvious, try and help out as many people as possible. If you could take something away from the channel, then that's great. So if it is the first time you're watching, we've got videos on the channel that literally go through cleaning, restoration, repair and fresh installs. So today, like I say, those stairs, this lounge here, this hall, this bedroom, and then this bedroom also. So it's not a bad little 2-bed flat, to be fair. These carpets have been down a good while, and the telltale sign is wear and UV fading normally. Wear can obviously create the pile to cast a different colour where it can look shady throughout, and that's normally where you've got excessive wear. So just always preempt your customer on what to expect, because sometimes, believe it or not, if you are getting into the industry and it's cleaning, you know, you want to do the best job you possibly can. You might have that customer that thinks that cleaning, hey up, Aladdin's cave, that cleaning is going to make their carpets look brand spanking new. And unfortunately, that ain't always the case. Although we do get jobs where it is literal soiling and the fibres are good. And then we can create what they call the cleaning miracle. And you know, veterans, people been doing it a long time, know exactly what sort of solutions, heat, chemistry, tooling, you know, everything that is going to make the game easier for yourself will perform miracles. So that is either rust from a frame of a bed, which is more than likely, or with it being brown, it could be poo, who knows. Always glove up, guys, when you're trying to take out by hand with a detailing tool, anything like that. If you can get it with a wand, fantastic. So you can see where the bed's been. And I do all kinds of videos, guys, where it's just literally watch me in action, and then I do other ones where I'll be talking and telling you about the job in hand. So yeah, that's never been walked on. That's the original carpet. You can see the difference all around the bed. That is never going to look like that, you know. We'll be pulling, soiling out the carpet, but they're not They're not heavily soiled. Especially this room, it's got more UV fading than anything else. So in colour, this is like a chocolate. You can see where cabinets have been here. You know, it's like new. And you can see just a bit of greeny purple there. And obviously the UV light that's coming in is stripping this carpet of its colour. They are all polypropylene carpets, including the stairs. This is a twist pile carpet, and the stairs is a loop pile carpet. So they're all synthetic. And today, I'm going to be going in with Enzol from Chemspec. It doesn't really need it. It's not that heavily greasy, but it is an enzyme solution, and it does clean deep. So we've got plenty of it on. I thought, why not? Let's give the Enzol a whirl. You can never go wrong with Enzol, to be fair. I've been using the product for years. Good UK distributors, suppliers will stock it. It's a world-renowned solution from Chemspec, and it's an enzyme. I think it knocks around a 10.5, 11 pH, so it does need to be rinsed down with an acid to obviously neutralise the fibres afterwards. Because what you do not want is to leave residue in those carpets for rapid resoiling. All right then, guys. No further ado, let's get into this. Right then, so I've already pre-treated the bedrooms, the little hall here, and I just started this lounge. Using the Works Hydra Shot, I always use this for carpets. I find it works for me. Obviously, when it comes to upholstery, I find something much finer, like a mist, is better, so that obviously we don't get any overspray or what have you. When it comes to using something like this, like the Hydra Shot, again, it's all practice makes perfect. Some people say they get too much overshot. Others think they're the best thing since sliced bread. I'm one of them people. I've used a Hydra Shot now, must be 10 years, must be. I was basically there when they first came out, and I was on it because I was tired of using a pump up sprayer. Although they've got their part in the game, literally they let the water out a lot slower. The PSI, it's not about the PSI, it's about just coverage on the top of the pile. This with the small lance I find much better than the long lance, because it does just that basically. I can control almost where I want it and how much I want it. That's the pump actually now, why it's intermittent. Sometimes the filter inside the tank here can get a little bit clogged up. Various different things, you know, keeping it real here on the channel and the problems that we can run into daily. I do think the pump on this is on its way out. This one, it must be about three and a half years old, so I think it cost me around £150. I think, you know, little red stain there, don't know if you can see that, but that won't bring it out. It's not one solution fits all. When you class yourself as a professional carpet cleaner, you'll understand that many solutions are needed for great results, you know, especially when it comes to stains. Spots can be knocked out with pre-sprays. Stains, they require, yeah, it's a little bit caked up, that is. So I finally got it off, and you can see That's meant to be totally clear. So what's happened there is, whatever's left, when you think you've dissolved your solutions and it looks like it's all dissolved, it can actually very fine particles can sit. You see, very fine particles can sit in your basket, clogging it. So it will do two things. The pump will overwork, which can obviously shorten the life, or it just will clog up totally. Keys, eh? They are the perfect tool for just about everything. So, yeah, that was definitely the culprit. So I'll just give it a rinse out now, warm water, just to rinse any remaining residue off. Oh, she's crystal clear. Look at that. See-through. That's how it's meant to be. Maintenance on everything, guys, is needed. And here's me thinking the Hydra shot has seen its last day. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, baby. I won't talk to you like that anymore. Right. It's not been off for a while, because I tell you what, that was very tight on. So it's not had a clean out, that hasn't, for a while, because it's just, well, I thought not needed. But obviously it was. So now we should have great pressure. It's priming. Oh, it's priming. Come on. There we go. Fantastic. Yes. Always put my batteries on charge once they're used. It's a great thing to get into, because then you're not forgetting to take them in at night to put them on charge and then finding that you've got no charge in your batteries. So we always stick them on. And it's just eliminating things, you know. We all work differently. But I'm here to tell you how I work. Also, when it comes to invoicing, I always invoice after the job, straight after the job, because I find personally, I've not then got to take time out in the evenings or time out on a Saturday or a Sunday to still be working. I just find if I add it into the job, soon as I'm done, get it done, that's what I do. And then I just find I get more free time to myself, because I've been in business a good 24 years now as a self-employed trader, and things you pick up along the way, you know, to basically separate yourself from your business, I found over the years is very important, because years ago I just used to get literally carried away, trapped in with business. It was, most people in business actually do that, whether you've got a collective amount of businesses or just one. You know, you've either got love for business itself or you've got love for the thing you do. That's what separates business people, you know, in my opinion anyway. I think people that want to get rich and literally work towards doing that are normally multiple business owners, and they love the high of, you know, making the money and securing the work, you know, and earning a decent living and living the lifestyle that they want to live. Then you get other self-employed people that do it for the time, in my opinion, you know, and what it gives back to them. They can pick and choose what they want. They can earn what they want, you know, they can work the body, you know, to a point where you're earning what you want to be earning, and you can do exactly the opposite and relax and pick and choose what you want to take on. So there is different people for different businesses, really. But I found out over time, I'm that person that is more than happy earning a decent living, but I don't want to ever be an Alan Sugar. You know, I know the investment that it takes to be that person. And I chose more family time and my time over that. But I've got, I'm a big believer of showing support to anybody that wants to do whatever they want to do. So if you are that person that's going to be the next big entrepreneur, then my hat is tipped to you. All the best with it. So I've already pre-agitated the stairs. I did that manually with a hand brush. Sometimes I use a drill brush. It really does all depend. I pre-vac the carpets as soon as I came in. I don't always cover all bases, guys, like you've already seen. You didn't see the vacuum, you didn't see me pre-spray in every room, that kind of thing, but I try to break down as much as possible. For those that haven't invested in Agitation, it's definitely a major game changer. It's one of those corners that shouldn't really be cut unless it's necessary. For instance, yesterday I was doing a big commercial job where there was thick black top grease. Now, knowing my chemistry and knowing what was needed to take that out, I didn't want to go messing up a pair of brushes that then needed, considerable amount of time to dwell and obviously to be cleaned out. Again, adding unnecessary time to the business. So what I did was laid down, again, it was Enzol. Enzol is a fantastic enzyme. That's what it was created for. Those greasy jobs, it will just literally eat the grease alive. So applied hot and left to dwell was the route that I went down, and it literally performed, with the heat and the PSI that we had behind it. It was carpet tiles, but I was only running at about 350 PSI. I normally run on a daily basis at around 200, I would say, give or take. That's on the truck mount. If I'm on a portable, it might be slightly less, it might be slightly more. It all depends what fibre type or fabric type it is that I'm cleaning. The other day I was cleaning fine fabrics, an upholstery set. I had the PSI on about 70 PSI, 70, 80 PSI, because it wasn't about wetter is better, it was about minimal rinsing for that particular style of fabric. But these are just things that we pick up along the way, guys, I always try and lift little bits like that out of the way, because if they get caught up, it's a nightmare. Not that I've ever caught up an antenna wire, but wires in general, I think we've all been there, where by accident the CRB has ate the wire up. If not, prepare yourself for it, because that day's coming. So yeah, you can see the amount of wear that this carpet's got. The fibres are just starting to fluff back up now, so there is quite a bit of grease in this carpet, so it was a good shout for Enzol, to be fair. Quite a bit of grease. You can see how it's matted and it's not separating. Now, yes, wear can create that look, but grease a lot of the time is the cause for that. So just separating the fibres is a good way to start before flushing. But in this area, this carpet is never going to be like the untouched areas, like I've already said. So I'm going to go through now to the hall and the 2 bedrooms after I finish this lounge, doing exactly the same thing. And then today on this particular job, we're going to use the truck mount. Now with the truck mount, people ask me from time to time, what's the advantages and disadvantages? And the advantages are everything's faster. Everything's easier on the body because you're not doing as much fetching and carrying, filling and emptying, setting up time, things like that. My relation with the truck mount has been a love-hate one, because when I first got my truck mount, I brought it really because so many people were on about them being a game changer. And absolutely, I mean, I'm not going to stay on the topic too long, but they are a game changer, especially if you do many jobs. I was speaking to someone about 5 months ago, got the same machine as mine he has, and he was doing 7 jobs a day. So, having a truck mount for his business was a game changer. Not for mine necessarily, it is a pure luxury for my business type, because obviously I do so much install and repair, I guess if I was going to put a percentage on it, the cleaning's always going to be probably 30-40%. At times it's higher, at times it's lower, but in general I'd say probably 40% of the business. I think as I'm getting older, I prefer it, to an odd day's fitting. At times there's nothing worse than thinking I've got to go out and, fit a 3, 4, 5 bedroom house. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I was mad for it, travelled all over the country, But I find as I'm starting to get older, I appreciate the slower, more detailed kind of work, and that's why I think, carpet cleaning and upholstery cleaning, and even I've dabbled in a few hard floors. Got a good friend that is a professional in hard floors. He's got all the kit. I went out with him about a month ago. We did a large place, and I actually enjoyed it, learning little bits and bobs on the job. I would obviously always put myself on the necessary courses, because I just think being accredited for whatever it is you do makes your business look professional. It means you've literally spent out, you've invested in yourself to accumulate, obviously, the accreditation that you need, the right kind of tickets for the jobs. But I'm always busy. So I was saying to my friend, adding something like that, and let's say advertising for it, it's going to take such an impact on what the rest of the stuff I do. And sometimes I do think you can have too many kind of bows to your arrow to your bows, whichever way you want to put it. But you see where I'm coming from. You can almost do too much. It's good to fall back on one if one's quiet, and normally that happens anyway, I found. If the cleaning side of things takes a fall back, I'm normally busy in the other areas, whether it be install or repair. And I've obviously been doing it many, many years, where word gets around, people know who you are, you become almost a family name, let's say. When someone needs a new carpet or they need it cleaning, they come to you. So time, I find, is an absolute great one for all things. Right, guys, let's move on. Right, so the agitation is finished, and that stain down there it would have been vomit, because obviously I've not used any spotters whatsoever apart from Enzol, which is an enzyme cleaner. So those enzymes would have ate up that vomit. I've come to spot in this because, like I say, not all things come out. So I've got a couple of areas here, one just down here, and these here that I've investigated, and I think the burns, but we're going to pop a little bit of solvent on there, just in case it's something that's quite sticky and it needs a little bit of help. It's not going to hurt it for what it is, literally. Yeah, that's definitely a burn, I can feel it. That on the other hand is not. So I'll just let that sit now. Obviously that's not going to come out, that is burns. And we're ready for flushing. Another thing that I found, guys, always clean as you go, meaning your tools. So the CRB, for instance, I'll clean it out. I won't just wrap it up and put it away. I'll clean this out, I'll wash this out, I'll wipe the whole thing down. I'm minimising on days spent having to clean all my gear. If you are one of those people that are just like, no, chuck it back on the van, get to the next job, I'd rather dedicate a day to doing all my paperwork, all my cleaning, you know, and you love doing that, then fair play, you know, that's what you want to do. Me, I like to do it as I go, so that all my free time is my time. So whether it's the only job of the day or I'm going to another customer's house, I've now cleaned out everything. So, you know, going into that customer's house, the brushes are clean, everything's clean inside. It's no good taking dirty things in. That's just me. I know we're all different, but it helps me and it helps my business. That filter's definitely overdue. Saying that, I cleaned it out about a week ago. So, I say overdue, but then when you're using them every day on large areas as well. Just rinse it out, leave it on the back to dry, so we've got everything out. Right, so filters have been washed out, gave the work a quick going over, emptied the vac, cleaned that, cleaned the CRB, literally 10 minutes, guys. Put these out to dry. Pre-sprays had a bit more dwell time, set up the truck man, get these carpets rinsed out, Bob's your uncle. Right, the machine's obviously full of water, got enough fuel in it. The check this morning's been done. No loose pipes, no leaks, nothing like that. We're all ready to go. It is the first job of the day, so checking it is vitally important in my opinion. Right, we're going to crank it up. Let's get cleaning. I'm stretched out here on the hose, to be fair, but I'd rather have it just reach than having too much. So I've now opened all the windows so that obviously once we've rinsed we can have a little bit of dry time. Starting the furthest room away. Water on. You give this bit an extra dry. Let's try and get it dry before we pop back the chest of drawers, because I have had a word with the customer. He wanted them done underneath. I could have sat them on foam blocks, but I know that'll be dry enough not to leak moisture into it. I'm not telling anyone to go doing that. It's just I know that I'll be fine with that. I suppose you should always put your furniture on blocks or foil. This bit's a little bit higher use, so I'm cleaning the fibre on both sides. A little bit of paint there that I'll spot. Do around the back of the door, so I'm working my way out. You can now see the red coming out in the carpet. Well, I can by the naked eye. I hope you can pick it up on the camera. It's not showing up too good, but that's colour loss. Both sides of the fibres here, it's quite heavy. Well, I say heavy, it's heavy enough to the point where it requires it. Give a listen out for the machine. We're looking at repairing. That's good. With a truck man, personally I find you're always mentally listening out for your machine. Saying that, I do with a portable as well. Just in case we forget to empty the dump. And then you suck a bit of water through, which you'll only do a couple of times, if not once. Because then you're left with the expense of new ones normally. Bit heavy there. Heat's coming through nicely. There we go. I will close the windows, obviously, before leaving, but it just helps get those dry times. Normally when I leave, I ask the customer to pop some heating on, leave the window ajar, because it always helps. I think there's a burn down there that I've missed. Yes, it's a straightener. You see that? Hair straighteners. Things like this I'm always picking up on and offering my services. Like I say, it's hit and miss. If they can see value in it, then they will definitely have it. If they're just going to be renting it, 9 times out of 10, they don't. I find, yeah, there's quite a few little burns down here as well. Slightly inside there. Not going to go all the way in. We didn't add on a cupboard. It was just open when I got here, but it is a cupboard. Give that a good rinse there, because that was where the vomit was. Feel my hose has slipped here. Let me go and check it, because I'm overstretching and I'm bringing my hand down on the one which is not good. There we go. Right, let's just reconnect this. Ugh. I don't normally have it happen, but there's always a time for it. She'll do.